Speaker Series presented by the Entrepreneurs Forum. This series is our weekly destination for insightful discussions with industry leaders held every Thursday via Zoom. Our aim is to create a platform that caters to both seasonal professionals and those keen on the business world. Each session is carefully designed to provide current and relevant information, fostering an environment conducive to learning, networking, and professional growth. The knowledge shared in these sessions extends beyond our weekly meetings. We're excited to announce that the discussions will be transcribed and featured in the Bellwether Magazine, a publication focused on lifestyle and finance for entrepreneurs. This ensures that the valuable insights gained from our guest experts are accessible to a wider audience. We're always on the lookout for new voices and perspectives. If you believe your expertise aligns with our vision and you're interested in contributing to our series, we encourage you to apply through our guest speaker application available after each episode. Join us in this engaging journey of exploration and discovery in the dynamic world of business and innovation. We're delighted to introduce our diverse podcast lineup, offering 4 distinct weekly episodes, each tailored to bring fresh perspectives in their fields. So let's take a closer look at each series. The first Thursday of each month is the Financial Canvas with Boris Bloom, discussing financial insights and navigating the complexities of finance with experts who will share their knowledge on investment strategies, market trends, and financial planning. The second Thursday of each month is Radiant Resilience with Jessica Carwatt, discussing how to boost your business by prioritizing your health. You will discover the latest in wellness trends, mental health strategies, lifestyle tips, and more to maintain balance in your entrepreneurial journey. The third Thursday of each month is Tech Horizons with Cassie Millhouse. Stay ahead of the latest technology trends with discussions on emerging technologies, digital transformation, and innovative business solutions. The fourth Thursday of each month is the Marketing Maverick with Fritz Colonette, where you will learn from the best in advertising and marketing as they reveal secrets to effective branding, digital marketing strategies, customer engagement, and much more. This is more than just a forum. It's a community that can be joined on LinkedIn where ideas develop and connections are made. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out as a rookie, our speaker series is the perfect platform to enhance your knowledge, expand your network, and inspire your entrepreneurial spirit. Each week, these podcasts offer a blend of expertise and practical advice, making them a must-listen for professionals and enthusiasts alike. We invite you to join us every Thursday on Zoom in this enlightening journey through finance, health, technology, and marketing. Tune in to gain new insights and propel your professional growth. Stay tuned till the very end for a special announcement as well. So today we want to welcome our exclusive webinar series featuring Fritz Colonette, the Marketing Maverick. Fritz is an exemplar of creativity and innovation in branding and marketing. With over 25 years of experience and an impressive educational background from Pratt Institute, Fritz is the visionary behind Retina Media. Renowned for his ability to transform ideas into visual spectacles, he has worked with illustrious brands and notable government products. Join us for a journey into the mind of branding maestro, where Fritz will share invaluable insights on personal branding, strategic marketing, and crafting impactful creative concepts. Get ready to be inspired and learn how to elevate your brand in this competitive market. So welcome, Fritz.
Thank you, Erica. That was an amazing intro. And I can't believe you were able to say that at one full swoop.
Exactly.
Maybe next time we just, some bullet points.
Right? Oh yeah. After you start doing yours after this, it's going to be smaller.
Awesome.
For sure. Awesome. This is just your first intros. So after this, it's going to be short and to the point.
It is. I love it. But thank you. I appreciate it. Well,
so Fritz, what inspired you to start a career in art, and how did it lead you to branding and marketing?
Ever since I was a small little Fritz, I'm very creative. So I draw, paint, sculpt. So when I was a kid, I always drew, right? And it really fostered in, looking at everything a little bit differently, looking at the positive and negative space between letters, objects, and forms. So that kind of really started to kind of foster my creative side. And then when I attended the High School of Art and Design and then Pratt, that started to really kind of force everything else about branding and marketing, right? So we're all, we're all every day, everyone's vying for our attention, all these brands. So I always was curious about why am I purchasing this brand over this brand? And they seem to be the same potato chips when I was a kid, right? But I wanted this potato chip. And why do I feel that I'm, eating Pringles and I feel, better eating Pringles where just Alts or Lay's potato chips, I was like, it's okay, it's a potato chip, right? So that psychological connection that I had with Pringles at a young age, it really fostered a lot of the marketing and branding questions I had internally.
Now, how have artists like Michelangelo influenced your approach to branding and design in your business?
Right. So, when you look at master artists around the world, where they're in fine art, photography, marketing, fashion, right? There's a level of excellence, and there's a level of creativity and can-do attitude that they push past what everyone else can't see. And that's the beauty of being creative. I love when this happens. Did you see that?
Yep, get the fireworks going on behind you.
So it's amazing, being creative, you're able to change emotions from 1 second to the next. And that's in the creative industry is the only industry that I know of that you can change someone's emotion just like that, just by what you create, right? What they see, what they feel.
So
So,
now, what was your first design project in your professional career, and what impact did that have on
my first design project in my professional
you?
career. Ooh, I don't even remember that far back, right? But, you know, when I look back at my career, I treated every project like it was an artistic journey for me. I wanted to make sure that it was the best that I could do at the time and what I under-promised, over-delivered. So I knew what they were asking, and I gave the client or my supervisor what they were asking, but also I gave them a little bit more of what I thought that brand or that project needed. So they saw not only that, hey, this gentleman can deliver, but also he's thinking outside the box and possibly providing me something that I can utilize to talk to my supervisor as well, and showing the breadth of how this project can go, take it to the next level. So I think it's really important for young creatives or young entrepreneurs or anybody who's working 9 to 5, someone's going to ask you for something, give them exactly what they're asking for, but also show them like, hey, this is the other possibilities, right? That can happen as well.
Yeah. So, can you explain what branding in simple terms is and why it's essential for businesses?
Okay, so that's a great question. So I'm going to tell you what everybody thinks it is, right? A lot of people think branding is a logo, a website, something that's tangible, right? Branding in its simplest form is an emotional connection you have with that brand, right? So when you think of most brands and you have that feeling and it starts to conjure up, images, associations, it starts to kind of, you're painting this picture in your mind without even having the product in your hand. That is what branding does. Branding kind of brings you closer to that company and almost humanizes the company, and you're really associated with it, and it's an extension of who you are without you even knowing that. Right? So you'll take like a Starbucks, right? And you'll see someone who has a venti. So that's almost like a badge of honor. Like, hey, I'm able to purchase this $12 drink and I feel connected to it. This is my, my comfort drink, right? Or Apple. You know, it's so interesting that they've created this amazing following of folks that really love the brand. They love everything about it. They love the simplicity of it. They love the connectivity of it, right? But if you ask them, from a technology standpoint, is this technology like on the cutting edge? I'm sure that there's other brands that have technology that far, exceeds the Apple technology. But what they haven't done is built a brand, right? And they do that very cleverly because it's all emotion driven, and it really it touches a pain point, either that the customer or the prospect doesn't know that they have, or they know that they have. So if we look at Apple's advertising for the iPod, right? So they weren't the first to create digital music, a digital music player, that they weren't. I think it was Sony. Sony was the number one, and then I think it was like Zoom followed. I think that was a Microsoft brand. And they talked about features. They talked about 5 gigs, they held 5 gigs of storage or whatever it was, So they kept on going on the features. But no one purchased it. And I was a Sony fan, right? And no one purchased it. The advertising for Apple, they said 1,000 songs in your pocket. That's it. It's simple, like you already know, like I don't know what 5 gigs does. I have no idea. To this day, 5 gigs, I don't know how many songs I could put in 5 gigs or how much files. I have no idea. And the average person doesn't know either. But they said X amount of songs right in your pocket. That's all that anybody needed to know. And then the rest is history.
Yep. Yeah, and it's everybody knows Apple.
They're the number one seller of music.
And I mean, and keeping it kind of simple where anybody can understand it, help them to get that brand out easier by saying those 1,000 songs. Like you said, nobody knew what a gigabyte was, but if you put it into everyday use, it helps it out.
Exactly. So when you're building a brand, it's really what you're doing is you're purchasing a slice of memory. So this slice of memory in the hearts and mind of your prospect and your customer, they associate your product or your service with them and what it solves, right? The pain point that it's solving. So that's what we want. We want to purchase that slice of memory in our customer. If you're thinking about a great cup of coffee, you're thinking about, a great pair of sneakers, a great pair of shoes, you're thinking about your dentist. What they're really doing is purchasing a slice of memory and say, hey, the only person who can take care of my teeth is this dentist. The only person who can take care of this particular problem that I have is this person or this company. At the end of the day, that's what you have to do, because once you purchase that slice of memory in their mind, no one else can come and take it. It'll be very difficult because our mind works differently. We work with, once we're accustomed to something and used to something, we just want to stay with it. We get so familiar with it. So we accept certain things or faults that that company may have or that personal brand, and then we highlight everything that they do fantastic and great. We amplify that.
Now, going back to the example from Apple and how they made it to where you knew how many songs were on there, do you have an example of where you created a story or something similar to that for a brand and how it affected the business?
Yes, right. So we're working on a sports team here in Houston called the Houston Dynamo, soccer team. They first came into the market, soccer in the United States. It's probably the number 4 choice of folks to watch at that time. So you have football, basketball, baseball, then soccer, or outside of America, they call it football, right? So there's a lot of choices, sports choices in the States. where outside of the United States, there's only one choice, soccer and maybe basketball, depending on what country you go to, right? So, and being the fourth, choice, and being a competitive city where you have a lot of choices, you really have to kind of set yourself apart. And everyone loves a winning team, right? But before you can have a winning team, you have to have like this, all of these people loving this brand. What is it about? You have to start injecting emotion and passion into the audience, right? So we created a campaign I call Dream, Scream, Believe. Dream the possibility, scream when you're at the game, and believe that we can win, right?
Mm-hmm.
They won 2 championships back to back, right? So, and then we created another campaign that was called Forever Orange, because their colors were black, orange, and white. So orange is a color that we can own. So Forever
Mm-hmm.
Orange. So you start creating something, the symbols, the visual symbols, the text associations that people can rally around, right? So we went from 9,000 to 14,000 to 20,000 seats and butts and seats.
Mm-hmm. That
So,
was good. Good. That
but
that definitely came from that branding too. So
yes.
say you're a new business starting out
Mhm.
now and you're wanting to develop your own brand. What is the first step that you should consider?
Okay, so that's a great question, Erica. With any business, what's your number one goal? Right? Identify what the goal is, right? And not a monetary goal. What is the goal? What are you offering? What's that goal? What are your values? Right? What are your values that's going to kind of keep you pushing through and burning the midnight oil? And when you're falling down, you can go back to those values, can come back up, or you're hiring somebody, you can kind of use it as a measuring tool as well to kind of push you through everything else, right? Also, what problem are you trying to solve? That's if there's already a problem, how are you solving it? Let's be in the solution-driven business instead of, hey, I have this product and people want to buy this product. Well, no, there's a problem, or there's an issue or a challenge in the community. No one's addressing it. Let me address this. Let me solve it with this solution. Now I'll have people coming to me. A lot of times companies there's no problem and they're trying to create the problem, right? Especially for entrepreneurs. Hey, what are we trying to solve now? Okay, I'm trying to solve X, Y, Z. Fine. Who's our target audience? That's really important. Who's your target audience? We don't have products that are for everyone. The only product that is for everyone is air, water, and what else? Air and water, right? That's for everyone. Outside of that, and sunlight, sorry, and sunlight. And if you're a mushroom, you don't need sunlight. So again, who's your target audience, and understand where they live, work, and play, and how they consume information, right? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook, on Twitter? Do they read the papers, the publications, right? What are their pain points? What are their challenges, right? So kind of traditional demographics of who your target audience is, and then the psychographic, which a lot of folks don't realize that, right now, there's if you create the psychographic, because you can blend in, these people are thinking like this is a type of person's psychographic that I'm targeting. And that will surpass cultural, financial, household income. So that's really important as well. Right. So once you identify who's your target audience, understanding where the consumer information, now you're building your assets, you're building your logo, right? When you're creating your logo, remember that we're looking at our logo on this device. So you're creating this beautiful logo that looks amazing on the wall. Now I want you to take that logo and break it down to a half of an inch. Now, all of that beauty and the intricacies that you see when it's on a large wall, you don't see it. So we have to start remembering that we're utilizing micro devices to see our communication, right? So you create your logo, now you have to create the assets, right? So your website, right? Also your visual story. What type of photography we're going to use? What's the style of photography? What's our voice, right? Am I funny? Am I smart? Am I intelligent? Am I luxury brand? So all of this comes into play to bring that person closer to you. People buy brands, they don't buy products, right? So we're focusing on purchasing that slice of memory. These are the big building blocks of purchasing that slice of memory. And when you decide on your look and feel, just because you've seen it for 6 months doesn't mean someone else has seen it for 6 months. So you have to be consistent with it. Be consistent with your colors, be consistent with your font, be consistent with your communication. A lot of times, a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners, they get tired of, well, let's change it up. It's not working, or it should be performing stronger. Well, did you do an A/B testing? No. So you're just going from your feeling. Let's take your feeling out of it and let's actually get some real data points, and then make an intelligent decision to move in which direction, right? So that was a long answer, and it needs a long answer for starting to build your brand. All of these steps have to go in order, because you cannot build, and a lot of times folks will build their website first and then say, okay, who we are, what are we trying to accomplish here, who's our target audience? And we don't, and also depending on our target audience, colors play a factor in it. Some colors in certain cultures are lucky and some are unlucky, right? So if you're targeting an audience or community that those colors are unlucky, guess what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen, right? So understanding your target audience, understanding their pain points, where they live, work, and play. So the more that you understand your target audience, the easier it is to deliver on the promise, because you know their pain points.
So, what has been your favorite branding project to date, and what made it stand out as your favorite?
Oh, I have so many favorites. It's almost like, like kids, right? So I have a couple of one that stand out. I like the Astorian, which is a premier rental venue here in Houston. It's a luxury rental venue here in Houston. Houston Dynamo, Copenhagen. So the Astorian, they came to me through a colleague, and they went through 3 design firms and marketing firms, and they weren't satisfied with the branding and the positioning, and they needed something immediately because they were going to open up in less than a month, and I think maybe with 3 weeks. So, and that's a really short time for us to kind of get something. So I said, okay, I sat down with their team, and it was just a 3-hour session of conversation. So we go through this process of really discussing who they are as a brand, what are the characteristics, and then who is their target audience, and then we start developing the assets that go with it, right? So they're a luxury brand, and we created this three beautiful concepts. And the one that stood out to us is that we created a griffin, right? So uh, part eagle, part lion, and the eagle, the king of the air, the lion, the king of the land, right? So it was very luxurious. It had a feel when they saw it, it was game over, game changer. We created everything from their web, all their marketing assets, everything in a very short period of time. And they won multiple awards for everything from the branding, from the excellence, how their customer service, but all of those, we asked all those questions up front. So we were able to deliver on an idea and a concept that was the king of the air, the king of the jungle, and tell that story, that brand story, and help them kind of amplify their characteristics, right? So that is one that really kind of stands out in my mind, and I really enjoy working with that brand because it's almost an extension of me and my characteristics.
Mhm. So how do you find those inspirations, like putting an eagle and a lion together for the business world?
Well, the luckily, I have a great team, right? And we work on it together, but inspiration is everywhere. You just have to pause and look at it and look at not only the positive space, but the negative space, right? So when you're inspired to do something, add more fuel to that, right? Don't let the inspiration kind of dwindle down and, peter out. Add more fuel, inspire yourself, understand what makes you tick, what inspires you, and be around those elements or those people that inspire you, right? So you always have to surround yourself with people who are going to push you, people who are going to challenge you, right, for excellence, but also understand that it's okay not to be great today, but we're going to strive tomorrow to be great.
So now, what trends are you seeing that are going to come up within the next decade in business for branding?
You know, the trend that's kind of taking, I think, create the creative world by storm is AI, right? AI is something that is it's kind of a starting point for some folks, or a cheat sheet for others, right? So, and I think they're scratching the surface on AI and AI generated images and content, right? But that's one aspect. Then the other trend is micro content, right? We're a society I call a microwave society, right? We want micro content. I don't want to watch the 30-minute video. I just need the snippets, the most important parts of it, right? Because I don't know if I want to invest, 10 minutes into this video, and the best part is at the 11th minute, right? So micro content is going to be really important. So micro content is going to be really important moving forward. And that micro content is coming in a variety of ways. But what I like to say, moving pictures, right? So whether it's animated GIFs, whether it's a video, whether it's a story, whether it's a reel, this micro content is going to be extremely important for any brand to move forward. Because the way that we're consuming and digesting information, we're not digesting information the way we used to in the past.
Mhm. Now, Eric has been kind of raising his hand, jumping up and down, so I'm gonna let him ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
Hey, Fritz, very inspiring. I know that you are a master of this, and you hit on all the points. I had my hand up, but then you covered it. Put my hand up, you covered it. Put my hand back up, you covered it. So, hello.
It's the synergy. We're on the same frequency.
I know. The one thing that I was going to add, but you did cover it, was personally how many mistakes I made by thinking I knew who my avatar was. Who I was sure that my group was this group. And it came from, my passion. And I think one of the things, because you touched on it again, is we get passionate about our business or about our brand, and that's fundamental number one. However, you just have to know who your customer is, because unless you're doing it for nonprofit or for charity or whatever, I've had nonprofits, but never by intention, by the way. That's a joke, Erica. That's a joke thing that we joke about. But if you're in business, you've got to mix the passion with understanding who the. I went to Hong Kong. I put in the Mosdea. The Four Seasons had marble, and everyone had marble. And there was caretaking. It was so much higher quality than I had experienced, let's say, in California or New York or wherever. But when it came down to it, and I started to wake up and ask questions, like you alluded to, Fritz, I understood that if I could lower my monthly cost to them by $39, they would just have tiles instead of marble. And I'd have a lot more customers and I'd make a lot more money. My question is, you touched on it, but maybe you can go deeper, Fritz. How do you find out who your ideal customer? What techniques do you use to unearth that?
Eric, that is a fantastic question, right? The challenge that everyone has is, who's my customer, right? So asking themselves this question is something that, you touched on was, hey, you know what? I'm going to dictate who my customer is, right? So in actuality, we're saying this is the customer that I would like. I would like this customer. Okay, so let's put that customer on the side, right? That avatar. Now, let's either send out create some type of survey, a poll. We have to start going and doing some research. If you have the dollars to hire a research company, then fine. But if you're an entrepreneur, understanding and doing some market research on your own, right? So if you're going to open up a burger place, let's just say, well, what are the top 5 burger places in your, in that location? Go to that burger place, ask people, hey, why do what do you like about this burger place? Right? Ask them questions. We have to get out of our own way and not be fearful of just going and asking someone just bluntly, like, hey, what do you like about this place? What do you don't like about this place? What would you like to see? A lot of times we're not asking what we would like to see, because we want to be a differentiator in the marketplace. If you're offering something different, then guess what? Now, if they put it apples to apples, they say, well, this place has A, B, C, but this other place, A, B, C, D, and E. They address the pain point that this other company has not addressed. Let me try them. And once they try it and they love it, they'll come back. A lot of times that buying cycle goes through 5 stages. Awareness, number 1. Findability, number 2, right? Reputation, conversion, and then advocacy, right? So and to answer your question even deeper, create some, go out and do some market research, create some polls online, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, right? Understanding your audience. If you can get a group of people together and do a Zoom call and, just kind of go back and forth. So at least you start to understand their likes, their dislikes, their wants, their aspirations, and their frustrations. And then you can address all of that.
Now, Fritz, how do you stay updated with the constant changes in the digital world?
Oh my God. I don't know if anyone could truly stay up to date with everything that's going on. I think that you try to consume as much information about your industry as possible within the time frame that you've allotted, right? But there's some things that even the technology, it just makes it faster. But for advertising and marketing, you're still advertising and marketing and branding. You're just using a different delivery system, right? So our delivery system now is on our phone, which has a platform of social media platforms, right? So there's not traditional and non-traditional, online or offline, but understanding what's new and cool and fresh, right? I think it's good to touch that bandwagon, but if you don't have the dollars to be an early adopter, especially for your clients, I would stay away from it, because you're going to need somebody who really understands that. And I'm not a big fan of taking my client's money and learning on my client's money, on my client's dime.
Mhm. So now, if we have young professionals aspiring to enter the branding and marketing field, what kind of advice would you give them?
Okay, so this is anyone who's interested in the creative field, graphic design, web development, branding, marketing. Ask yourself, why are you in this field? Because it is a very difficult field and challenging for anyone who's in it. So you're going to have thick skin. There's going to be a lot of no's and a lot of presentations that folks will not understand. So number one, be really great at your craft. Be really great at the tools that you're going to utilize for your craft. A lot of times we have these ideas in our mind and we're trying to put it on the screen or on paper. But if you don't know how to use, Adobe Suite or whatever you're utilizing till its fullest, you're going to accept to where your education is at. So if you only know how to use Canva, let's just say, and you only know how to use, 25% of the tools, then that's where you're going to go. You're going to be able to deliver your idea to only 25% of its capability. So understand that you're utilizing the tool, learn how to use that tool to its fullest capacity. Right? So once you know how to do that, learn how to present. Really learn how to present and articulate and brand story your idea. A lot of creatives, they create something and they expect everybody to understand it. Creativity, you're thinking so far ahead that a lot of times most people are playing catch up. So you have to be able to tell your story, that brand story, and articulate your creativity effectively. So learn the tool, just like any master artist. Michelangelo had the same chisel, probably a better piece of marble than everybody else, but he wielded his tool better than 98% of the artists. That's it. Right? So you're utilizing the tool, make sure you utilize the tool to its fullest capacity and capability, right? And then don't forget to always be learning, and be a constant learner, and always think of yourself as you're at the beginning. And don't be stuck in your ways, right? So a lot of times we get stuck in our ways, and just be out there and just say, hey, I want to learn, and just embrace being a beginner all the time.
So what do you find the most enjoyable in your career?
I love a wide variety of things that happen in my career. I do love when we create a brand and a client sees it, and I could see it in their eyes, like their eyes open up so wide and their mind just expands because they came to us and said, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want, right? And this is where we're living in, right? We're living in this little ecosystem, and they're not seeing like the bird's eye view of where they could be. We create this brand, and all of a sudden, and we present it, and then we identify multiple revenue streams for them within this brand, within their budget. And now they're like, oh my God, I would have never thought of everything that you put together. And now they see their company as a viable brand that they can take nationally, right? And then they're like, hey, I just was thinking like this little ecosystem. Now they're like, hey, I can do XYZ with this, right? I can really kind of amplify my brand and take it to the next level. And the great thing is that what we provide, not only the creative aspect of it, the strategic aspect of it, but also I understand the business aspect of it. So you're getting a person who understands 3 components of your business that to this day I haven't met any creative that can do that. So the strategy, the creative, and the business side.
That's good. I'm glad you enjoy it though, because like you said, it's a lot of hard work. You have to really enjoy it. So Eric has another question. Let me go ahead and get him to ask here, and then we're going to open it up for questions too.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm jumping ahead. Sorry about that, Erica.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So how do you suggest to everybody out there about finding the right marketing manager, whatever you want to call it, to take them to the next step? In my experience, I found that there's some insanely creative people out there, but they're missing for me as a business person, the key element. Like, I'll get you 1 million likes, but nobody's coming to the party. I'll get you, 5 million of these, and you ain't going to make a penny. How do you find the marketing group that understands what you were talking about, building your brand all the way A to Z, as well as being able to make money and having the business brain at the same time as the creative brain? Because I find, and I've listened to a lot of people that I've spoken to, they make the mistake of going after the flash and not understanding about how to make that particular business profitable. What would you suggest for that, Fritz?
Right, Eric, and I touched on it a little bit earlier, and it goes back to it's very difficult, challenging to find someone who is strategic, who's creative, and who can deliver on the promise, right? So who understands the business aspect. So, like I said, I'm the only one that I know of that can deliver all 3. But what I would say is, if you're going to hire someone to get likes, right? They're not thinking about the strategy of your business. It's just like an order. They've taken the order from you, and then now you want likes. They provided you with likes, right? Now we have to ask them, we have to tell them our goal is this. We want to achieve XYZ. This is the KPIs outside of delivering likes. At the end of the day, all those likes, does it yield X? So we have to make sure that we're also tasking them at a deliverable that has a monetary connection or financial connection to it. And if it doesn't, what's the goal? Is the goal just, awareness? Is the goal findability? Is the goal reputation? Is the goal a financial goal, right? There's very few firms that put that together and say, okay, you know what? I know you want X, but at the end of the day, what do you really want, right? So you have to ask the right questions when you're interviewing a firm and understanding what your end goal is, right? So, and a lot of times companies are hiring a web developer, a social media manager, a PR person. So all these three components never talk to each other. So you have three ships sailing in three different directions. And you wonder why you're not achieving your goal, because you have three ships sailing three different directions. Either you hire someone like myself to orchestrate all three of them, and this is the collaboration, and this is what we're doing together in unison, and we're moving forward, or you hire a company that does all of it, and you can move forward, and now you have one point of contact. So make sure you ask the right questions. What is the real goal you want to achieve, right? And have they done it in the past? How successful? What are the challenges they had with their previous client? And what challenges that they may see they can forecast with just your particular project, right? I always tell any prospect, these are the challenges you're going to have, right? With what you're asking. Because I want them to know, hey, you're hiring someone who's really going to think about your business and solution driven. The creative, check. The strategy, check. I can do that all day, every day, right? But you want someone who's passionate about your project, your brand, your business, and really is going to help you offload all of that anxiety to them that you're going to have. And you can focus on bigger projects, bigger tasks, bigger outcomes while they're handling something else for you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Do put your hand up so I can take it. Don't think anybody else. Or send it in the chat and I'll ask it if you need me to. I haven't seen anybody else, but well, I'll go ahead and make that special announcement. So we're excited to invite you to our premier event, Horizon 2024 Coastal Synergy Summit, a gathering of minds and markets. This is hosted in the scenic city of Pensacola. We have it scheduled for Labor Day weekend, August 30th to September 1st. This event promises to be a pivotal gathering for professionals across various sectors, including sales, health, technology, and marketing. Horizon 2024 is not just a conference. It's a convergence of industrious leaders and innovative thinkers. Here, you'll all have the opportunity to immerse yourselves in a diverse range of ideas and perspectives. The summit features presentations from top-tier experts, such as Fritz, offering insights that are critical to business growth and innovation. And moreover, the summit offers the exhilarating chance to pitch your innovative ideas to a panel of seasoned professionals, opening doors to potential collaborations and partnerships. It's an event where knowledge, networking, and opportunity intersect, providing a unique platform for professional development and business expansion. We look forward to welcoming you to Horizon 2024 Coastal Synergy Summit. Join us for an exceptional experience where business minds meet to explore and redefine the future of industry and entrepreneurship. Your pathway to entrepreneurial excellence begins at Horizon 2024.